Individual errors and mistakes can happen, even to the very best of us. Some get away with it, and others, well, they have to suffer the consequences. This is... it's an error. I left it on, and it's good. This is TalkPosh. Go. Hello and welcome to TalkPosh, supported by our friends at Serpentine Green Shopping Centre. Tonight, we try to work out what the hell is going on with the Posh. Individual errors, losing the two managerless teams and out of form sides as well. Players leaving and absolute bloody morons having a go at the gaffer's wife. It's all kicking off, isn't it? The lads are here to chat through the findings and give their verdicts on the shocking run of form. Evening, boys.
Evening.
Remember to let us know your views in the comments below, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can tweet us at TalkPosh. Before we hear from the lads, let's see what Adam has to say, who recorded this short clip. He's away on holiday in Greece, is it? He's probably on a few beers at the moment.
He's drinking little quarter pints.
Yeah, quarter pints, and he's probably watching as well. Let's see what he has to say.
Good evening and welcome to TalkPosh. Thank you for listening tonight. As you can see, that I'm not actually there tonight. I'm in Corfu. Weather's been bleak today, to be honest. 24, 25 though, so a bit hot tomorrow. Just very quickly, been asked to do a quick video on Southend and Scunthorpe. Southend game, I was there. Very poor first half. Lucky to be only actually 1-0 down, I thought. Jack Baldwin error, but he makes some mistakes. I'm sure he'll pick himself up. And then a good finish by Jack Marriott. We were very unlucky second half at Southend. Chettle had a very good chance. Madison had, I thought it was in as soon as it left his foot, but luckily their keeper was man of the match second half. It was unlucky, but like I say, a point to stop the rot, well, what was the rot at Southend. And then we went to Scunthorpe, which I wasn't there, so I can only go on the highlights, so I'll leave it to the lads in the studio to discuss. But all I'm going to say is 1 point from 15 now, with Scunthorpe when we were leading for 75 minutes. It's disappointing. We can only bounce back, and unfortunately we've got to bounce back on Saturday against league leaders who haven't lost this season, so it's going to be very difficult. I'll be back for Saturday, and I'll be back on the show next Monday, so enjoy the show, and we'll go from there. But my prediction for Saturday is I'm just going to go for a draw. I'm going to be hopefully optimistic against Shrewsbury. I'm going to go for a 1-1 with Madison to score. Back to you in the studio, lads, at the Posh.
Good stuff. That was Adam on holiday. Looks pretty drunk already. Sunshine don't look that bright actually, but all well. Yeah, Dell is actually stuck in traffic. He will be on his way soon. So, Dell, if you're watching, mate, hurry up, put the foot down. Boys, since I've been away on holiday, 2 losses in the draw. I haven't, luckily, apart from the Gillingham game, which I did watch on iFollow, I haven't had to suffer them matches. Ben, let's start with you, mate. What's going on? What is going on with PB United at the moment?
You haven't had to suffer all the travelling to watch those matches either. It's. Do you know what? Scunthorpe was actually the complete opposite of normal. We played well the first half, just not the second. It's like we're only capable of playing one half of football before it all goes to pot one way or another. Without the keeper, we'd have lost most of those games, if I'm honest. I know their other keepers have been playing really well, but even in the highlights, it everyone was pointing out against Southend, their keeper got the man of the match award. Yeah, but our keeper pulled off several saves as well. You only have to watch the highlights that showed you a lot of that. It's just absolutely zero consistency, and the thing is, I actually agreed with the team that they put out at Southend. And I don't think it was a bad team or a bad formation. They just weren't with it. They weren't up for it. They just didn't look like they were up for it at all.
Alex, I was talking to you earlier, and you were saying that the game on Saturday that we actually played quite well.
Well, I think we did, considering that Scunthorpe are one of the toughest teams at home in the league, and obviously, it's horrible the way we lost. You know, we were dominating for most of the game, well, not dominating, but we didn't deserve to lose it. A draw would have been a fair result at Scunthorpe, who have conceded the least amount of goals at home. And I'm new Stato Jacko, aren't I?
Yeah, you are, mate, yeah.
But for me, Anthony Grant was being fantastic in midfield. We were defending well. Wing backs were working well. Guillaume was having a good game. didn't deserve that penalty, and it was a simple mistake which knocked us.
It was individual error.
It was an
again,
individual error.
Okay, let's pick up on the individual error things, because is that what we've got to work out what the hell is going on. Why are we losing these games? Why are we not winning games? And individual errors, Chris, is probably one of the things that is one of the reasons, really.
Yeah, especially at the back kind of thing. Like, I mean, the Unity back pass obviously leading to the penalties cost us. I mean, Baldwin's had a couple of bad passes across the back recently that he's either had to come back and try and save himself or kind of cost us stuff and things. And I don't know. I mean, as a general thing as well, I find it not surprising actually that we're conceding the odd goal here and there, because we said at the start of the season that the way McCann was approaching it was trying to go back to the old days under Ferguson, where we were going to try and score loads of goals and almost concede the fact that we were going to concede a few at the back kind of thing. And I think the problem is at the moment we're not firing at Brent as
we are scoring goals, because if you look at our record, we are scoring goals, but we're not scoring enough goals to do what you're saying, to score more goals than the opposition.
If we were banging in 3 or 4 like we were at the start of the season every game, the 2 we're conceding at the back, like 1 or 2 we're conceding at the back, no one would bat an eyelid about. But I think it's just the way we approach it. We're going to get caught on the counter attack. We're going to get chances against us, and unfortunately, because we're not getting the goals going forward, it's starting to show now.
So are you putting it down to, boys, everyone, the fact that we're not winning games? Is it because of individual mistakes? Is it because of we're not scoring goals? Or is it just a collective of loads of things? I mean, to me, it looks like the team ethic, the teamwork, the team bonding stuff that was so prominent at the start of the season, it seems to be just not there.
Well, when you look back at the goals we conceded in recent memory, when's the last one, especially a costly goal, which cost us points, where it wasn't an individual error? Because I honestly can't remember the last one.
Okay, so we're going down to individual errors, and if it is individual errors, then how can is that? I mean, everybody makes mistakes, don't they?
Yeah,
because we invited Fozzie onto this show last season, but we went away from that mistake. But how do you? Is it pressure, Alex? Do you make mistakes, mate? Is it because of pressure? Should professional footballers that play week in, week out, should they feel in the pressure?
I think it was the fact that we had such a good start that they felt like, okay, we can take anyone on here. And we won, we went 5 undefeated, was it? 5 undefeated, and people thought, okay, we can take anyone on in this league. We lost 1, and it was after our first loss, we don't know if they can bounce back from a loss. And they've not really got back on track. Since Bradford, I don't think we've won 2 consistently.
Yeah, we weren't especially consistent.
Back. So since they've been everything, we went 5 undefeated.
Yeah, but we did that without being an outstanding team. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of clubs didn't know us back then. We're playing a different way to the way we played last season. We did play a settled team, which helped. I mean, the fact that it's changed a hell of a lot since then. I mean,
I'm still not convinced McCann knows best 11 with the available players.
But how does he know? Well, you say that though. Well, okay. So he did know his best 11 at the start of the season, though, didn't he? Because he went and changed for a number of games.
We lost Marias and we lost Edwards. That affects the balance of the team, because they were 2 dominant players in terms of the way we were approaching games.
Mm. When we had Edwards and Grant out, that really ripped the guts out of us.
And then obviously Grant we've lost through a couple of injuries and things like that, and suspension. So it kind of messes with the balance of the team. I don't think he's ever quite got it back to a team where he feels he can play consistently.
People at home, what do you think? What's going on? What would you put, if you could say one thing that you find that is not quite working at the moment, the reason why we're not winning these games? Let us know. Let us know what you think. Give us a 1-word, a 2-word answer, and we can go from there. I think we've just got a fan interview to show you from one of the 2 games that just happened, just to see what they say.
Yeah. Right. Finish 1-0. What do you think?
Much better. Last 3 games, it makes up for a little bit. The fact that we made a mistake at the start again, and we managed to sort of get out of the system a little bit. We've done that last couple of games, wouldn't have got much out of it. Jack Merritt again saves us from absolutely nowhere. If we didn't have him, then we would be very good at all this year. So positive, a lot of positives to take. We need to keep performing like that, otherwise it'll mean nothing
It's
tonight.
definite improvement on the last 3 matches,
Absolutely,
definitely, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. Who was your man of the match in particular tonight? Anyone stand out?
Guillaume, getting around the line, excellent. Marek just keeps running behind like he always does, to be fair. And to Grant midfield, God, what a player we've got there. If he didn't keep running around in midfield, my goodness, we'd be, again, got some legs for a 30-odd-year-old, isn't he? So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that was a guy there, thanks for that, from the Southend game, where everything seemed to be slightly positive after drawing 1-1, after a few losses. Chris, what are people saying on Facebook regarding the reasons why they think it's all going Pete Tong for Posh at the moment?
A couple of people touched on the fact that the strike force, particularly Miller, hasn't really got into scoring yet. Some people have been saying, again, not knowing the best starting 11, missing Junior, no plan B kind of thing. I think the striker thing's quite a good point to bring up with what's been going on social media today, and rumours of looking at some non-league players.
Another non-league player?
A couple, actually, I believe.
Oh, right,
there was one at Solihull.
There was
and
in the summer when Darrow was announcing a fourth striker, which turned out to be Idris Kanu. We were linked to a certain Oliver Hawkins, which
Right.
I remember a certain person on Twitter who has already been mentioned today wasn't happy about. He has been banging them in for Portsmouth.
Okay.
He has been really good for Portsmouth. Obviously, he's not scoring hat-tricks and stuff, but he's been getting the goals,
Argument
which has
is
been changing their game.
Portsmouth
I know they probably have a
bigger.
different play style and
Yeah.
they might have more money. And that
No,
sort of
no,
stuff.
that's what I mean. I mean, the
Yeah.
chances are he would have chosen them above us anyway.
Yeah, but we were linked to him, and he's been scoring goals. So it is you can buy, if you pick a right non-league player, someone who will work for you straight away.
Yeah, and we got a non-league player in Ricky Miller, and unfortunately he's not really doing it for us at the moment.
Yeah, he's just not stepped up so far, has he? He's definitely you can't even say it's a confidence thing, because he doesn't look like he's not confident when he comes out onto the pitch, when he's on the ball. He just hasn't got up to pace at all.
For me, it was he needs to score that first goal. And unfortunately, I know every single game where he doesn't score, you need to say he needs to score his first, he needs to score his first. There's only a certain amount of chances that you can give a player. But it was like with CMS about his 100. That took him so many games to get it, but once he got it,
yeah, but how long can you give a chance? Look at Nichols. We gave him chance after chance after chance, and he never bloody scored.
That's what I was going to say. That I don't feel the same about Miller as I did about Nichols.
No.
I've got confidence that if Miller could get that goal, there'll be a few more to follow. Not like with Nichols, where I always thought even if he gets one, I've got no confidence in him getting a goal.
Well,
game after the next.
let's hope that happens. One thing that Alan Swan picked up, I thought was a really, for once, a really good piece in the Evening Telegraph about it. He was saying about teams in poor form and managerless teams. Oxford, Scunthorpe, and Southend weren't in good form. We lost to them. Oldham and Gillingham, managerless. We lost to them. Is that an attitude problem from the players? Is that players going into the game thinking it's too easy? Again, professional footballers, should they be doing that? Do you think that?
Is it that, or is it just that we're playing teams round about our actual level? And
It's a good point.
We in reality, we're not much better than they are. We're mid-table League One team at the moment. That's what it seems like, and they're all about the same.
Is there an element of an unknownness about these teams as well? If you've sacked a manager, someone's stepping in as caretaker or whatnot, and they're obviously going to try and employ something different that didn't cost, because the manager lost his job because of something going wrong beforehand. So, you kind of go in there and you maybe not knowing what's going to happen in that game. You're not sure what the lineup's going to be and things like that. And maybe we're just not confident enough to react to the unsurprised setup as such.
Thing is, our players can do it. I mean, Bristol Rovers away. Bristol Rovers is a tough place to go. Rotherham up there. We beat them. Wigan are up there. We beat them. Plymouth, first game of the season, that for me was a difficult one because they've come off high spirits. They've got promoted. They're ready for anything in this league, whereas we didn't have a good end to last season.
But that was all at the start.
Still went and beat them.
But that was all at the start of the season, though, when we was high in confidence, high in things. So what's happened between that high in confidence and playing the teams that Ben is arguing that are on par with us? I've seen on social media, on Twitter, people coming out of the woodwork and saying that they said that weeks or months ago that we're only a mid-table side. Is it a mixture of all these different things of the reason why, or are we just correct? Are we losing to these teams? Because as Ben said, we are a mid-table team.
Yeah, it's a bit of that, but at the same time, there have also been all the decisions that have gone against us. like someone's already stated, there's a fair chance that Bishop should have been sent off at Scunthorpe.
He pulled Grant down.
Yeah, which would have been a
he had a
change
yellow.
game.
Then he got a warning. Then when he actually pulled Grant down using his arms, he again got given another warning. But if you're on a yellow and you got given 2 warnings, surely that's enough.
And at the same time, we haven't been able to make changes when we need to as well. For example, I think anyone who went to Southend will say Baldwin needed resting. Baldwin shouldn't, in a perfect world, shouldn't have and wouldn't have started the next game. He did, but that was down to the fact Tafazzoli wasn't available. Tafazzoli hadn't picked up that injury. I don't think Baldwin would have started against Scunthorpe. Not that Baldwin actually he didn't make any glaring errors against Scunthorpe, but he wouldn't have been playing if Tafazzoli had been fit. That would have changed the game, maybe.
Is there this kind of curse, the captaincy thing going on again? We've had it. It's been a long time since I can remember someone taking the captaincy and actually boosting their performance.
Chris Forrest the first half of the season, but then he just
fell off, didn't it?
For me, I would give it to Stephen Taylor purely because of his experience, and he's a centre back.
You would,
if you've got that sort of experience in your team, he might not be able to play every game. He might not be around for.
Well, he has played every game, though, hasn't he? So
but like cups and stuff as well. Why not give it to someone who knows what he's doing?
Well, it's better than Baldwin, who's not playing.
For me, he talks more than Baldwin. He knows when to calm people down and knows when to get people in position.
The problem is we need Baldwin to come out and say,
I'll give him the captaincy.
Yeah, if McCann takes it off him, that's a bad statement to give out.
And it would, I know obviously Baldwin got given captaincy, then Taylor came in. It would be really unfair on Baldwin to go, okay, we've signed Stephen Taylor, you know what, he can have it because he knows what he's doing. It would be quite unfair on Baldwin to strip him of it, I think. But I think something needs to be done where if he has the most experience, Taylor has, he's played the game for years at the top level. If he should be stepping up, and I've worded that completely
It's
wrong.
sticking. I'm this day and age. I'm of the belief that the captain armband really doesn't mean nothing. It's a more traditional thing. But you telling me you think Taylor is going to do stuff now that he wasn't doing before? If it's an armband.
No.
I
think he's doing the same thing.
But I don't think taking the captain's armband off a player makes him better or worse for a player.
You know what we should do? We should ask the people at home. Who do you think should be captain? Do you think he should stay with Baldwin, who's not in great form, or do you think maybe someone like Taylor should be taken over? We'll go to Chris in a minute just with anything that's going on. And then after that, we'll get another fan interview. Chris, what's going on Facebook, mate?
A couple of people saying about captain's armband going to the wrong players. Jim Cool come on here, he said Taylor or Grant only captain material for me. Someone like Grant actually is someone we haven't picked up on.
True, yeah.
The way he's been playing,
I'd
been considering him as a captain material, to be fair.
But like Alex said, do you put that supposed curse on a player by giving him the player's armband?
It only ever seems to affect players badly. Look at Boswick.
Yeah.
Boswick, when he had the captaincy, that's the worst he ever played for us.
The curse of the captain's armband will go on. Let's go to another fan interview then. This time it was Ian Simmons, and this was after the Scunthorpe game.
Hi Ben and the boys. Ben spoke to me yesterday and said if I could do a report on yesterday's game. I was going to do it last night when I got in, but wasn't really in the mood, to be honest with you. First half I thought we started really well, dominated the first 5-10 minutes. They came back into it as you'd expect from a home tie. Obviously went in 0-0 at half time. Second half they started like us in the first half, and I honestly thought it was only a matter of time before we would concede. Lo and behold, went down the other end and Hughes scored. Quite a good finish. And then the wheels fell off. There just seems to be a lack of confidence running through the side at the minute. Hughes got nutmegged out on the wing, good cross in, good finish. As for the penalty, I don't know why we're playing at the back at that time of the match, 88th minute I think it was. They should just be clearing the ball. A point away from home's a point. All you're doing that is inviting pressure on. Positives out the game, Taylor again, immense at the back, giving out instructions all the time. The sooner we make him captain, the better. Grant, my man of the match, by just shading it in front of Taylor. Edwards, well, you know what you're going to get with him, Mr. Consistency. And as for the rest, not really that interested. Shrewsbury at home on Saturday. Knowing Posh as the game, we'll probably go and win, so we'll see you there. Up the Posh.
Right, I'd like to apologise to the other people. There were other Scunthorpe interviews, but I forgot to press record.
Shocking.
Sorry.
Are you Alex in disguise, are you, mate? He's here! Dale! Thanks for telling us, buddy. How you doing? What's going on? What's happening?
I thought, unlike some of our players, I thought I'd put the effort in.
Good lad. Good lad. Even though you
I
were
could have quite easily chucked the towel in. You know what I mean? That was a bitch of a journey. But I'm here now.
I tell you what, coming in second half, ready to go.
Mate, second half
we've seen that before.
Yeah, we are. Here we go. The second half is going to pick up. Let's start with Dale then, mate. Just tell me about where we are, last couple of games. What's your thoughts? What's happening, mate? You've been listening to the show on the way down here.
It is what it is. It's I think we was spoiled from the first few games of the season. Without playing particularly great, we was getting results. Some of the performances ain't really that bad, are they? You know, from what I've seen, some of the highlights, some of the clips, listening to what you were saying earlier, some of the, just the individual errors, we just need to cut them out. But on the flip side, I think what we need to also remember is we are a first division side. Our players are going to make mistakes. You know, it's a time and a place where they're making them. You know
Our mistakes are getting punished.
Yeah. Whereas other teams, you know, I was watching a few other games, and they make mistakes, and we're not capitalising on their mistakes. Whereas other teams, the mistakes we make, they're capitalising on.
Like Scunthorpe, if you make a mistake in the 80th something,
and then
you've got no chance to rectify it, have you?
No, it's disappointing and it's frustrating, but I don't think we should go out bombasting them or really slating them. But these errors have got to be cut out. I think what we also need to do is pick an 11 and stick with that 11 for 2 or 3 games.
Injuries permitting, obviously.
Injuries permitting, obviously, but we need to have a bit of consistency again. Is it a coincidence that when we was doing well, we had a stable team, stable formation? Just don't put round pegs in square holes. Have a 4-4-2, go back to basics. Madison on the wing, not up front, even though I did suggest him going up front. If we're going to play Leo, put him in the middle where he should be. Don't put him a right wing back. Perhaps not drop Bowling, give Bowling a bit of a confidence boost, a bit of a rest. Tough as Zoli if he's injured or not. Or perhaps Edwards with Taylor in the middle. Just get a bit of consistency going, a bit of confidence, back to basics.
That's Dale. Good, mate. Well done. That's all good. I think we should. He's off. He's off. He said his stuff. I just want to, before we move on to preview the Shrewsbury game coming up, and that's going to be a tough one. I just want to talk about Grant McCann because we can't discuss our poor form without speaking about a manager, can we? It's never. You can't do it because he decides the tactics, he decides the formation, and he decides the people that are going to play in that position.
Clock stops with the manager at the end of the day. It's the manager who carries the camp for the results, isn't it? But it's really, if it was that the whole team was playing really awful, there wasn't even one good half a match, and you could see where all the inadequacies were, then you could blame McCann. I'm more for the fact that when it's individual errors all the time, you can't blame the manager for individual errors. You just can't.
I like McCann. I think he's a club legend as a player. I really, really want him to succeed. I was quite chuffed that he got the role, and I'm still pleased that he's our manager. He's not a bad manager. He's still learning his trade. How many players go through like a period of time where they sort of learn their trade? We need to give him time and a minimum of the whole of this season. Even if we get relegated, I know it sounds harsh, right? Even if we get relegated, I hope that don't ever happen. But you can't keep swapping managers left, right, and centre. Do you know what I mean?
I can't remember who said it, but there was a quote I heard about for a manager to come in, he needs 3 full seasons to set up his own squad, get a team established and things like that. But it's something you just don't get there.
It's never going to happen. Those days are gone. Your days of Dario Verardi at Crewe, where he's built his team. Alex Ferguson. Well, the only one you've got left at the moment is obviously Wenger at Arsenal.
And everyone wants him out as well.
Arsenal fans, be careful what you wish for. Seriously, you top half of the. You just wind me up, you lot. But you know what I mean. Be careful what you wish for. I hope you will be up.
Let's just pick up Chris, on anything that's going on Facebook?
A lot of people agreeing with what Dale was saying earlier on when he came in and
Hey,
surmised
what
the
was that?
situation.
There we
That people were saying like, yeah, we are a team for the League One players, and we've got to give them benefit of the doubt sometimes.
Who's
some people saying
who's Katie? MK Army? Seriously.
We'll ignore that.
People back in the camp saying we've got to stick behind him. Hopefully, see him to turn it around.
And not only stick by him, whoever you are out there, that absolute diabolical person that has had a go,
You can have a swear for free.
and his wife. I'm not swearing,
No, Dale can, I think.
but yeah, go away.
It's,
That's how harsh I'm going to be. Piss off. Yeah.
Piss off.
Yeah.
Man, that's got to be a swear word.
Yeah, it
Not
will
money,
be, and I
it's
will
not
pay for
We
it.
said one free swear word.
I will
so you
pay for it. That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's move on. We have the league leaders, the surprise package of League One coming to us on Saturday. Before we chat about this, it's time for the quiz. It's time for knowing the opposition quiz. So, 10 questions, 5 questions each,
We did research.
about knowing the opposition. And now, we did watch a show last week, chaps. Dale, I think you need to listen to the young man a bit more.
Never.
No,
I'd
good.
rather lose.
Right,
So
that's good.
you're called Deal as well this week, then.
Deal.
Deal. So we've got Team Deal versus Team Bench on 10 questions on Shrewsbury Town. I'll go for Alex. Do you want A or B?
We'll go A.
You go A. Okay, boys. Easy question to start off with. Who is their manager?
Paul Hurst.
Correct. 1-0.
I
Did you
knew
know
that
that?
one. I did know that one.
Yeah.
I revised that earlier.
Easy question for Team Bench. What is their ground called?
The new meadow.
Good
It is
stuff.
a new
It's
meadow.
the new meadow.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Oh, good. 1-0. Team Deal. Former manager. What former Posh player who played 49 games for us, scoring 25, managed them in 97 to 98?
That was before my time, so that's on you.
Pass it on.
Jimmy Quinn.
you
pulled it out.
He's
Pulled it out.
He pulled it out. Look at Alex's face. He's so
Both
happy
ready
with
to
Dale.
jump in there.
He's so happy with Uncle Dale, isn't he?
That was your mum.
Question.
Oh, good.
Question 2. It's 2-1. Question 2.
Oh, that's the conversation I wanted to avoid.
Former manager
Oh,
for Bench. What former manager who managed them in 2014 shares a name with a famous pop star?
Michael Jackson.
Oh, here we go. It's 2-2. It's all
Shimon.
looking good. Question 3. Past games. Okay, so we last played them on Valentine's Day last season. We won 2-1. Who scored our second?
It wasn't it Dominic Ball?
Spot on. Here we go. Look
Good
at
lad.
this.
Yeah.
3-2. Boys, past games. We drew 1-1 with them last season at their place. Who scored?
We're
Leon
Edwards.
Leon Edwards. You boys have been revising tonight, haven't you?
Oh,
Look at this.
Alex clearly has.
3-3. It's all looking good.
Yeah, you only got yours one right.
Right, question number 4 for Team Deal. Random question. What county is Shrewsbury in?
I know this one.
Yeah.
Is it?
Shropshire, is it?
Final answer?
Go for it. It's on you.
We're
It's
going
on
with
you.
Shropshire.
Shropshire. Correct. 4-3. Okay,
You
boys.
get it away there, mate, with that.
Random question for Team Bench. What river flows through Shrewsbury?
7.
Oh, here we go. Look at this. It's 4-4. Final questions.
It's only started. It's a bit of fun. It's
Oh, this is quality. The suspense. People at home must be absolutely buzzing, are they? Probably not.
Not a single comment.
No, good. Glad you enjoyed it. Question number 5 for Team Deal. All to play for. Here we go. It's a hard question. In last 10 games against them, how many have Shrewsbury won? In the last 10 games of Posh versus Shrewsbury, how many games have they won?
They didn't win last season, so they can get a maximum of 8.
6. I got 6.
Incorrect. It passes over.
I think it's going to be on the low side. I was going to go 4 as well.
Yeah, 4.
Incorrect. It was one game.
Is that it?
One game.
And that what overall record? Can you ask that instead?
Nope. So it is still 4-all. This is for the win, boys. For the win. In the last 10 games against them, how many were drawn in the last 10?
We've only one was won.
They've only won 1. I know they drew 1 last week. I reckon it's only going to be like 2 or 3 maybe.
Go for the hot 3.
All the suspense is killing it.
We'll go 3.
3 games, incorrect. It passes over for the win, chaps.
6.
Go for it. We'll go what Dale says.
6, incorrect. It was 2.
They're on 1.
So it's 4-all. Goes to the tie-break question. And I think it's the closest to it. Say, as the crow flies from Peterborough to Shrewsbury, I just put it in to Google, didn't put A back to wherever, I just put Peterborough to Shrewsbury. As the crow flies, how many miles is it? I'm going to give you boys first.
Do we get 1 each, or does it have
No,
to be
no,
a
no.
team?
It's this team thing.
Shrewsbury,
As the crow flies.
107 miles.
So we're going 1 above or 1 below that.
Go 1 below, I think.
Or 106 miles.
Unbelievable. It's 106 miles. Yes! Oh, man, that's unlucky for me. What a guess. Oh,
That's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Mate, you can have
Oh,
a
mate, that is absolute quality.
Wow.
2 weeks in a row.
Okay, right, to
Wow.
get bonus point, right? What's so significant about when Peterborough played Shrewsbury in 1994 when we drew 2-all?
We relegated them.
No,
No, that was 2000 and something, weren't
it was.
Don't know.
Okay, 2 things. First of all,
Should we ask the people at home? And we've got to go somewhere to go first. Should
Yeah,
we
go
ask
on
them
then,
at home? We'll ask them at home, so just repeat it.
so I think it was 1994, Peterborough played Shrewsbury away at Gay Meadow, drew 2-all. 2 things that stick out in my mind. Perhaps you remember, perhaps
What they
you
were.
don't.
Let us know. Before that, we've got a quick chat. We're going to have a quick chat about Saturday in a minute. But here is the lads from the Shrewsbury fan podcast called Salo Cast. Sorry, lads. Who gave us their 60-second review of their season so far. They must be buzzing.
Okay, so Shrewsbury season so far, Glenn, it's been pretty fantastic.
How do we describe it? We're just saying, obviously we're doing a piece for Peterborough fans. How do we describe the season? It's indescribable for Shrewsbury Town. We've never been on a run like this in this league for a generation, so we are unbeatable, still unbeaten, and yeah, looking forward to the Peterborough game and maybe taking it to our club record sort of run. So yeah, it should be good.
So we're now 15 games won.
Yep.
Sorry, 15 games unbeaten. That's 11 wins, 4 draws. Going into Peterborough game, I see Peterborough have lost again. It means that Peterborough have lost 4 games in a row. So yeah, we could go into that game in high confidence, I'd say.
Well, yeah, I mean we've been going to lots of games recently where we think the wheel's going to come off or this is going to be the end of the run, and they've got an ability to find wins from games where we don't like we're going to get one. We've obviously scored in the last few minutes today at home today, so yeah, we're not going into any games fearing anyone, and with Peterborough's recent run, feel like we should be looking to get at least a point there.
Yeah, definitely not the best performance today, not compared to Tuesday night. Tuesday night was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't as good today, but the wind played a lot. I'm sure Peterborough will probably say the same thing with the storm that we've had. So it was a scrappy old game, but you've got to find a way to win, haven't you, Ollie?
We have, yeah. So we're top of the league. Fantastic. With 10 points above third. So yeah, absolutely unbelievable.
And we shall be at Peterborough, so we look forward to the game. Cheers, guys.
That's 2000.
Good stuff. So we've got a few Shrewsbury fans watching tonight. There's a bit of a thing about the ground, is there? Could you be losing the point, boys?
I think so.
No.
Just,
I'll
what's
go
your
with
name?
Google. Google says the Meadow. There you go.
Val, tell us the name of the ground, please. Tell us the name of the ground.
It'd be good to.
You might have a friendship with Val. It's just no, can't do that.
Thanks for listening, Val, and any other Shrewsbury fans. Thank you very much for joining
There's
in.
confidence among them on the
Absolutely, and that's what they've just been saying. Them boys, them boys
Wow.
must be absolutely buzzing. Boys, we're going into this game. Funny enough, I had to do a piece for there. I've done a 60-second view for their podcast, and they must have been absolutely creasing themselves.
Did you just cry?
No,
seconds.
they must have creased themselves when I said that I think we're going to beat Shrewsbury on Saturday.
No, well, that's how we work,
That's how it
guys.
is.
Yeah.
We do badly against the worst teams, and then we come up against the best teams. Well, what happened when we come up against Wigan?
Yeah.
That was off the back of what? The Bradford defeat and all that, and We absolutely pasted them. We do well against the top teams. We
Was
always
it
have.
last season or the season before when we played Bury at home and they were unbeaten and
Beat them 3-1.
yeah, beaten 3-1 out of nowhere kind of thing. So
Yeah, I'd be worried if I was them simply because
we're so bad.
Yeah,
we've
only
only got one way to go, really.
Yeah, we only do really bad against really bad teams. If you're a good team, then we'll do well.
And Shrewsbury are a good team, top of the league, absolutely flying. I think haven't lost in 15 games. Lads, what are you thinking about Saturday?
Else has just put get the ground.
Just going back. To,
Hang on.
Just going back to the ground, right? You know, I don't like to cheat. I like to do things fair. Someone's bought. It's called the Montgomery Waters Meadow. It's a sponsorship name, like the Avax.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, the Avax Stadium is London Road, and I'd have been pissed off if I'd got a point. If I'd said hadn't got a point, if I said London Road. It's only fair that they keep that point. All right.
What a guy!
True gentleman.
What a guy he is. Alex, what do you think about that?
Alex is from a younger generation.
Is there
No
any chance of
loyalty.
the transfer.
Yeah, go on there.
Alex is the sort of age where they still giggle when they hear the name Gay Meadow.
Why we're all still laughing though, so we all must be that age.
You thought we're laughing. Mentally we are as well.
Was it Gay Meadow where there used to be a bloke in a boat to retrieve the balls over the side?
Yeah, it's right on
that is true, isn't it?
7, yeah.
Anyway, lads, Shrewsbury, just quick, what do we reckon? Are we agreeing with Ben in terms of we might get a result on Saturday?
No mites about it. We're going to win 4-2.
Wow.
I won't say we'll win it, but
yeah,
I predict we'll win it. But I wouldn't be surprised if we took a point out of it at least.
Are the Shrewsbury fans that are watching, are they laughing? Are they putting the laughing emojis as we're speaking? Chris, what's going on, mate?
Nothing yet after those comments, but prior to this, I think they've all been quite confident in their abilities to probably come here and give us a good whooping. So whether we can turn up on the day would be nice to see, to be honest, the weekend.
Absolutely. Let's move on then. Let's go to Prediction League. Alex, have we got a slide for the Prediction League?
Yeah, we have, but I'm going to get up there first.
Alex has got to go and do the slide. Thanks again. I actually put it out on Twitter, didn't we, the other day, of the top 50 people that are in that league. I think is the leader. Leader's still Nazif, so well done, mate.
Harvey and Levi.
I can't remember.
We're all on 12 points.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
I don't think Levi should be up there. I don't like you. I'm only joking.
Oh, wow.
Just call out our viewership there now.
Yeah.
No. It's getting tight up there. I think Nazif's got it. I think he's got one proper correct result in that. And
so not many would have.
Just a waiting on it. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of points at all from last week. I don't think anyone got the correct goal score, and it was only those few people who took a punt on us to lose. That
Sorry, I've just seen that the laughing emojis are coming in very, very.
Crikey, yeah.
There's a lot coming in.
It's the shocked ones that look better than anything.
So Prediction League. So thanks for that, Alex. Make sure you reply to the tweet and the Facebook message that will be coming out in the next couple of days. Well, I don't know if Adam's going to be doing it. He's abroad and obviously drinking and stuff. Alex, you want to come back in, mate? Because we're going to be doing the predictions for Saturday's game against Shrewsbury. We'll start with Mr. Hurst. Is he relation anyway? No relation. Okay, Chris.
I'll go 2-1 Posh.
2-1 Posh.
Goal scorer. It's about time we got one Madison.
Ben.
I'll go with 3-1 Posh. Marriott.
I'm going 2-0 Posh. Marriott.
4-2 Posh. Madison.
4-3 Marriott.
4-3 who?
Oh, well, Posh.
Just double checking.
Yeah, that would be helpful actually on the responses people put for their predictions. They could state which team it's for. Because sometimes it's not overly clear when we're playing
People
away.
just put 1-0 and
well, they put like 1-2 and that, and it's not overly clear who it's going for. So
good stuff. Okay, then laughing emojis are still absolutely ruining our stream at the moment. Thank you very much for that, Shrewsbury fans. I hope you enjoy the game on Saturday. Let's move on to the 9 dart challenge then, and it's the
before we do the 9 dart challenge, we're going back to the Shrewsbury question or what?
Yes, sorry, forgot about that.
So,
94.
I believe it's 94. We were sponsored by Thomas Cook.
Yeah.
So is Shrewsbury Town, sponsored by Thomas Cook.
Oh, they have the same pizza kit as well.
And have the same logo.
Did someone say that?
I did see pizza kit.
I did see pizza kit on there.
Anyway, we went away to obviously Shrewsbury, and for some reason our kit clashed, and we had to wear their away kit, and their away kit has the same sponsor on. Wow. Bit different, wasn't it?
That's good, mate.
I know that I saw the Shrewsbury away kit that season because I thought, oh, you poor gits, because they had to wear it too. And then I went out and bought it.
Yeah, well, can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
Lovely. Anyway, 9 dart.
9 dart challenge. It's the turn of there's Derek over here, buddy. How do you think it went? You want to get your excuses in there first?
No, it depends which one you're showing.
Depends which one we're showing. What win do you think we're showing?
It was shit.
Here we go. Have a look.
It's the count to beat the goal.
I'm Dale, this is TalkPosh 9 Dart Challenge. TalkPosh.
Dale, 107, mate. Yeah, you know.
On the plus side, you're well above Adam.
Yeah, I know, I'm not sure. And at 107, do you know, I really ain't too bothered. I wanted to get everybody a fair chance, you know, to be on the leaderboard. You know, winning ain't everything, you know. It's a taking part.
Is it?
Right.
Right.
Very good.
Let's have a look then. So, Dell, you go in 1, 2, 3, 5th position, mate, just below me and on top of Adam. That must feel good, right?
That's why I'm just holding all up. I don't see what the issue is.
That's a great place to be. There's the leaderboard there. Thank you, Alex. Good. If Dell just moves his leg. Nice stuff. Wicked. Nick obviously still runs the way. The professional on 246. If you want to get involved in this, make sure you let us know, and you could do that. Right. Before we go on to the bets, the bet of the week, it's return of the Talk Posh versus this week. Myself, Adam, and Ben took on Dizzy penalties. Take a look.
Go.
Three.
1.
4. 5. Go! Oh, he's got it. Oh, he's missed it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my god, I'm falling already.
4, 5.
What? Oh! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go! Oh, he's got it. Ah, he's got it. Oh.
Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Got it. Got it. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5.
Missed. Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Go on, faster.
5, 6,
Faster.
7.
Go, go.
8. 1,
1. Go on, Ben.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Go! It's in.
It's still in Turnstile 27-28.
Back on air, Chris. Brilliant. Hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, my shot was shocking. Well done to Ben for winning that. All of good stuff. Yeah, you won it, mate.
That was a while ago.
I don't know how you managed that. Good stuff. Before we go on to the bet of the week, let's talk about the pre-DMAC TalkPosh 1 to 11. Obviously, we've got nearly a full team in there at the moment. So, quality. We asked you for your votes for the centre midfielder. We narrowed it down to 4. It was Simon Davis, Jimmy Bullard, Goodin, and Ebden. And you voted about 160, 170 votes, and you voted for this man,
Camilla.
Jimmy B. Jimmy B, well done, mate. You are in the TalkPosh 1 to 11 at centre midfield. So the team is now nearly full. All we got left to do is someone to partner Kenny Charlie up front. Really, really quickly. Who would you go for, Del?
I really don't know.
Okay,
but
good.
just going back to Bulldog.
Okay.
Bulldog. It's his birthday today.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure he ain't going to get a better birthday present than being selected in a pre-match 11.
There you go, mate.
Happy
Honestly,
birthday.
by TalkPosh. Quality stuff. Good. Bet of the week. Sponsored by Head to Head Barbers over in Yaxley. If anyone's got a bet of the week, they put it on the feed, and we will make sure we get it out, and you can have a vote on that. I think we've been slacking a bit on that. We have been losing each week. It's not very good, probably because we're always betting that Posh will win, and we haven't won for a while.
You're not going to bet on Posh to lose that, are we?
We are not, Chris. Exactly right. So thank you to them, Head to Head Barbers. I think, boys, unless we've got anything else, we will go. Thank you to everyone that watches at home, including the Shrewsbury fans. Really, really appreciate you watching tonight. So thanks for that. Thanks to everyone that took part in the fan interviews and the Shrewsbury podcast lads as well. Thank you. Thank you for Del for turning up eventually. Cheers, buddy. Hope you get home all right.
Yeah, about 11 o'clock.
About 11 o'clock. Cheers to Alex for filling in tonight, and thank you to Ben and Chris. We'll be here next week. Thank you to our sponsors. Head to Head Barbers, Serpentine Green, and thespicemarket.co.uk. We'll see you next week on the Posh.
At the Posh.